will be a pretty short video. I'm just going to discuss the basics of caring for halon extinguishers and dry chemical. First, we should start off with the proper labeling of your extinguisher. In a confined space like a bedroom, you want to have the appropriate signs. This is what you should put. Well, you don't have to put necessarily this, just something close to it. You can put that. That's the NFPA safety diamond. It's actually supposed to be 200 because there's no fire risk for halon because it's an extinguishing agent. This is probably the most appropriate sign to have for your door. Just keep it closed, man. After you discharge the gas, clear the room, evacuate. Okay. Now we're going to cover the Halon 1211. Last time you guys saw a Halon video of mine, I had, go over here, I had two of these 2.5 pound extinguishers. Well, I had gotten the gas taken out of these. The gas has been recycled and is currently at a Halon bank. Our IT center, I'm not going to disclose where, retired this extinguisher and gave it to me. This is a 9.5 pound Amerex Halon 1211. And it clearly states in the tag, I don't know who did this tag, but they labeled it as ABC. It should be 1211 in that little spot right there. They inspected it and recharged it on October of 1998. The gauge is empty, as currently all halon extinguishers, if you get them secondhand, they should be, well, not should be, they just need to, they really don't need to have any gas in there because it can leak out, and it's really bad if it leaks out. Charge net weight would be 195 pounds of pressure. At 70 degrees Fahrenheit, Halon 1211 has a vapor density pressure of 20 pounds of pressure. The instructions for a halon extinguisher are very similar to a regular ABC dry chemical extinguisher, except for this big, very, very, very demanding warning. The concentrated agent, when applied to the fire, can produce toxic byproducts. Avoid inhalation of these materials by evacuating, that's a really bad thing, and ventilating the area. Do not use in confined spaces, which means if you have a trailer, don't use this size in there. Less than 1,123 cubic feet per extinguisher. Now, that says a lot, actually. That says a lot. It's labeled on both sides. We're going to take it off the wall. It's over there with the appropriate tag. I believe it's the BCF 1211, and then above it says halon extinguisher. Because, you know, safety net over here. Got this charged. To take it off, you simply just take it off the rack. It has a style of mounting. This hook works perfect. Came off of a water extinguisher from General. You can just hang your halon there perfectly, and it will just stay right there. It won't move. It just stays where it is. Great for your home, but not so great if you got kids, because they get hold to it. Bad things can happen. Okay, let's give a thorough examination of this cylinder. What we would do in the extinguishing industry is to first look at the tag, see if it's appropriately named and dated. The company is Vermax Incorporated, Sales and Service, 1902 Proper Street, Corinth, Mississippi. Business and night. People work day and night. Soda acid extinguisher, that's very, very old. Let me try to remove this tag. I can. I'm not sure if I can. Let me see if I can. Put this down for just a second. Okay, so the tag has been removed. The pin is locked in place. The people who did this cylinder was used to extinguish a fire involving a computer in our IT center. The people did not want to pay to have this agent recharged in the extinguisher. So what they did was they cleaned it, they recycled all the Halon 1211 from this thing, and they put the tag back in place with the seal. That prevents, it's a tamper seal. That means if some jerk off is trying to take your stuff, they can't discharge your extinguisher without it being broken. Once it's broken, you know that somebody has done it. Okay. For the Halon, we have on the back a warning statement from the United States EPA. Recycling protects the environment. Do not dispose or discharge contents into the atmosphere. Discharge only in case of fire. If container contents must be removed for service, maintenance, or dismantling of your Halon 1211 extinguisher, prior to removal, contact your local Emrex distributor. Well, you see, Emrex is not going to be so helpful if it was made in, let's see here, 1992 is the date. And that's just the chemical name for Halon 1211. Bromochlorodifluoromethane. It's a mouthful. Or BCF to all of you guys from the UK, or just out of the US. We don't call it BCF here. We call it Halon, or just 1211, or Freon R12B1. States on the side the manufacturer's instructions for maintenance. Inspect monthly. Well, this thing has not been inspected monthly. It was in the back of a closet, rusting to hell and back. Recharge immediately after use. Yeah, if you got $1,000. Partial discharge may cause extinguisher to leak. That's a lie. Have extinguisher recharged with 9 pounds, 1.4 kilograms of manufacturer's Halon 1211. Yeah, 9 pounds of Halon 1211. Let's see. If you figure out the cost, Halon is 40 pounds. It's $40 per pound. It's a 9-pound unit, so that's like upwards of $200, $300 for a fire extinguisher. I mean, it's the best stuff in the world to use, but God help you. You need to use it that much. Contents: Halon 1211, HMIS 200. That also goes for the NFPA. The health rating is 2 because it can cause, asphyxiation in large quantities. This is probably a 2 to 5% concentration. 8 or 9% concentration would probably knock you out. Emrex Court, Trustville, Alabama. So, let's get on to the actual inspection, shall we? Simply take the hose off the rack. If you're lucky, when you got the extinguisher, it came with this silver bracket. It's metal, and it just holds your hose very firmly. But if you're not so lucky, you get this flimsy, black, crappy plastic bracket. Not a bracket, just a hose holder that holds it in place, but it's prone to break very easily. So, you begin to unscrew your Halon extinguisher. You simply just take it like this and unscrew it in a counterclockwise motion. The thing about Halon is the threads for the hose are much bigger than dry chemical, which is very, very confined and restricted. Inside of the valve assembly, you can see the valve right there. Instead of it going up, it goes down. The valve goes down. I'm not going to pull the pin just in case there's any residual Halon in there, because it's very bad for the environment. I don't want crap in my room, which stinks very, very bad in here, if it did go off. The gauge is empty, but you know, gauges can lie. I don't trust gauges. I trust digital scales, but those can lie too, so can't be too careful. Alright, so I'll set you down for real quick. You guys just sit there, get some popcorn, whatever the heck you're gonna do. This is probably gonna be a little longer than I expected. And I will open the top of this so you can see the inside of the Halon extinguisher. If you can't see, you know, screw it. You get to see the valve assembly and the springs and stuff. Lucky you. Alright. Sometimes guys get hit with a hammer. Well, not here or here. Right on the very, very edge, just enough where it will pop off, but not damage the squeezing mechanism itself or the carrying handle. So you guys should get your popcorn again, and I'll be sitting right here. 2 hits is usually all it takes, depending on how rusty it is inside. And once you unscrew it, be aware of any gas discharge. If there's any gas discharge, you hear any vapor coming out of this, this means you still have Halon inside of your extinguisher. So you need to be very, very careful and screw it back the way it was. Halon has a sweet odor to let you know that it's been sprayed, not sour like I've been saying. I don't know why the heck I've been doing that. I'm a dingus. But it has a kind of sweet odor. It's not pleasant, but it smells sweet, kind of like, I don't know. You guys just use your imagination. So the valve assembly. Alright. Your bottle, your steel drawn cylinder, is empty. As it should be. If you see any gas flowing out of here, then you got some big trouble. Okay. So, this valve assembly for the halon extinguisher. It's locked at the moment. I'm not going to open it. This tube for a ABC dry chemical extinguisher, it would be plastic, because plastic's very easy to clean for dry chemical and it won't corrode. For Halon 1211, as the agent itself is, it's pretty stable if it's kept under controlled circumstances. The tube is metal, and that's where I don't like that, because it's quality parts. You look at the bottom of it, there's a space cut out to allow the gas to go inside, or the liquid Halon 11, because this is a vaporizing clean agent, and the gas will come flowing out either if you have a horn assembly or just a hose and a nozzle of any of it. The inside of the cylinder is probably the most crucial part. That's what you do a hydro test on. I don't know if you guys can see in there, but there's a bit of rust at the bottom from this thing's been sitting up empty so long. So what we would have to do to service this unit, I'm going to service it sometime and get it refilled. To put it back in service, we'd have to perform a hydro test, which is filling this thing with water and pressurizing it to at or almost above factory test limits. And the halon extinguisher says that it is tested at, let me see, there should be a little bit of information. Alright. Pressure tested, here you go guys. Pressure tested to 390 psi or 2,690 kPa. Made in the USA, MREX model 369, Halon 1211. Underwriter Laboratories. Underwriter Laboratories. I'm sorry, guys, my voice is getting tongue-tied. Underwriter Laboratories. They don't really list these much as liquefied gas type fire extinguishers. They list them as clean agent or halogenated clean agent. They might still keep doing this until 2021, I believe, or 2029, but they're eventually going to stop. You're looking at a dying breed. Classification is 1A, which means it is not good for Class A. 10 BC, which means hell to the no, definitely yes, especially Uncle Gazpacho, you got the money, yes. Halon is made for electrical equipment. It's good for fires involving liquids and grease, but don't use it for a grease fire. At least I don't think you should. Just don't anyway, just to be sure that you're not being a freaking dingus. Some schmutz on the label. I hate that. It's made for electrical fires. Electrical fires involving energized electrical equipment, faulty boxes. If you see a spark from your freaking computer, you can use it for that. It knocks a flame down like no other. But it's very, very, very bad for the ozone layer. This is probably the worst chemical for the ozone layer. I believe Extractions and Ire did a whole video about this. He explained the chemistry better than I possibly could, but I got a comment on that because he inquired about the laws of Halon 1211 BCF in America, and I filled him in. So I appreciate your concern, Extractions and Ire, and I'll continue to be your subscriber. But I don't know what else I can say about the extinguisher, except that's a really freaking long name. Suitable for use at temperatures from negative 65 degrees Fahrenheit to 120 degrees Fahrenheit, or 54 degrees Celsius to 49 degrees Celsius, which is negative 54 degrees Celsius to 49 degrees Celsius. For all you guys who are in metric. We need to go to metric. I hate customary.